Today we're going to be learning how to convert a quadratic equation from vertex form, which is the form it's currently in, this is vertex form, to standard form. Standard form looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. Go ahead and write that down. Okay? All of the equations are given to us in vertex form. We are going to learn how to convert them to standard form, and then they will look like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, I want to work through the whole first example with you just watching. Okay, because you don't realize how much you miss when you look down and you're trying to copy while I'm teaching. So let me work the whole thing, and then I'll give you plenty of time to copy, okay? Alright, number one. The first thing I'm going to do is rewrite it with one minor difference. What does x squared literally mean? X times x, right? Isn't x squared x times x? So wouldn't that mean that x plus 2 squared is literally x plus 2 times x plus 2? Okay, anytime something is squared, it means you multiply that something by itself. So instead of writing x plus 2 squared, I'm going to write it multiplied by itself. Then in the very next step, think about it. I'm multiplying it, and I'm going to multiply it by FOIL. If you don't understand what I mean by FOIL, we can call it double distribution. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. But now I haven't done anything with that 2, so I have to distribute it as well. 2 times x is another 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. And then don't forget about that plus 5 hanging out there. You just got to bring it down. So now when I combine like terms, it'll be x squared. Hold on, I'll give you time. 2x plus 2x will make a 4x. And 4 plus 5 will make a 9. And now look, is it that ax squared plus bx plus c form? The a is 1, the b is 4, the c is 9. Go ahead and copy it. Okay, now I want you to watch for a second, and I'm going to show you how I can check to make sure I did it right, which is always very important in math. Learning how to check the problems will help you make a better grade on the test, correct? Okay. This has nothing to do with this lesson, but just for a little side note. 1/2 and 0.5. Same thing. They're equal. Just two different formats, correct? Fraction form, decimal form. This equation and this equation are the exact same equation, just different formats. This one's in vertex form, this one is in standard form. I'm going to prove to you that they're the exact same equation by graphing both of them. First, I'll graph this one. X plus 2 squared plus 5. And hit graph. Okay, so there it is. That was this one, x plus 2 squared plus 5. And think about it. Remember how the inside number moves it left or right? Plus 2 moves it left 2, and plus 5 on the outside moves it up 5. Didn't that graph go left 2, up 5? The vertex of it moves left 2, up 5. Now I'm going to graph it now that I have it in standard form. I'm going to leave the other one up there though. X squared plus 4x plus 9. Watch the screen. See how I just covered the blue with red? Same graph, right? It's because the equations are the same equation, just written in two different forms. Kind of like that's the same value, just written in two different formats. Okay, now let's try number 2. So again, one more time, I want you just to watch me, and then I'll give you time to copy it after you watch. Okay, f of x equals. The first thing I'm going to do is basically just rewrite it. So I'm going to bring down the 5. Instead of x plus 3 squared, I'm just going to go ahead and write it twice, because squared means you're multiplying it by itself. And then bring down the minus 4. Okay, so then in the next step, I'm going to continue bringing down the 5, And I'm going to continue bringing down the minus 4 at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and multiply those two binomials by double distribution, or what we call FOIL. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. Then you have to distribute this to both of those. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. In the very next step, I'm going to combine like terms. So just bring down the 5, bring down the minus 4, but instead of rewriting all that again, can't I just write x squared plus 6x plus 9? Because why put plus 3x plus 3x? Isn't that just 6x? Alright? So then in the next step, let me make myself some more room, because I'm running out of room. Now, with the first equation, we were almost done. We just had to combine the 9 and the 4, and we were done. But in this equation, we have a 5 out in front, so you have to distribute that 5. 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 5 times 6x is 30x. 5 times 9 is 45. And then bring down the minus 4, and so now I want those combined. So the final answer is 5x squared plus 30x, and then plus 45 minus 4, which is just a positive 41. And like always, we can check it. I'm going to graph them both, so watch, and then I'll give you time to copy. Y equals 5 times x plus 3 squared minus 4. And then I'm going to graph the second one once I changed it over to standard form. 5x squared, let me put it first. 5x squared plus 30x plus 41. Now remember, the first thing, the vertex form of it is going to be graphed in blue, and then the standard form is going to graph in red, so watch it. See how I just covered it up? That means we did it right. It's the same equation, it's just two different formats. Also, let's think back to last week. Okay, thank you. What does that plus 3 do to the vertex of the parabola? Left 3. What does the minus 4 do to it? Down 4. What does that 5 out front do to it? Remember, getting skinnier, because that's a vertical stretch. Numbers greater than 1 out front are a vertical stretch, which would make it skinnier. Look at this parabola. Didn't the vertex go left 3, down 4, and get skinnier than your standardized parabola? Okay, so now I'll give you time to copy, and then we'll try number 3. Okay, this time, if you feel like you can copy as I go. But if you feel like it helps you to watch it, just wait till I'm done. Yeah, I'll give you time. Alright, f of x equals. The first thing we do is we rewrite it. The only difference is, instead of writing x minus 4 squared, I'm going to go ahead and write x minus 4 times x minus 4, which is what that means. Okay, and the reason I do that is so that in the very next step, I can FOIL those. Now, that won't affect the 2, and it won't affect the plus 9. FOIL means double distribution. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Then I have to distribute the negative 4 to both of those as well. So negative 4 times x is another negative 4x, and negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Okay, and then in the next step, bring down the 2, bring down the 9, and now we're just going to combine like terms. X squared, what's negative 4x minus 4x? Negative 8x plus 16. Now that we have that trinomial simplified, now we're ready to distribute the 2 to the trinomial. So that becomes f of x equals 2x squared. 2 times negative 8x is negative 16x. And 2 times 16 is positive 32. bring down the plus 9, and then f of x equals 2x squared minus 16x plus 41, because those combine to be a 41. Okay, go ahead and copy it. While people are copying, for the rest of you, I will graph them both so we can check to make sure it's right. I know a lot of times on tests you don't want to take the time to check it. You'll be a lot happier with your grade if you do. No, you have to use no. All you have to do is graph them both and make sure they make the same parabola. That's it. You just hit y equals, type in both equations. Okay, see how I've typed in both equations? Oops. Now I'm going to graph them and look. There it is up there, and there it is again, covered up with red. Sorry. Well, when you talk, I assume you're getting better. Number 4. The first thing that we need to do is we need to basically rewrite the equation. The only thing that we're going to change is, instead of writing x minus 1 squared, that means x minus 1 times x minus 1. So I'm going to write it like that instead. Now, the reason that I write it like that is so that in the next step, I can multiply it by FOIL, or some people like to just call it distribution. So bring down the negative 3, bring down the plus 10, and now we're ready to multiply these. X times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. Negative 1 times x is another negative 1x, and negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. It's not that much. It just seems like a lot because I'm going so slow teaching it. Okay, then in the next step, instead of writing minus 1x, minus 1x, that's just minus 2x. No, like if you lose $1 and then you lose another $1, you've lost $2. Pretty sure. Okay, so now that that trinomial is in simplest form, there's nothing else that can be combined in there, we're ready to distribute this negative 3. Negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times negative 2x is positive 6x. And negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. But then we got this plus 10 hanging around that has to come down. And so the final answer in standard form is f of x equals negative 3x squared plus 6x. And then what's negative 3 plus 10? Positive 7. And then if you're not sure if you did it right, what can you do?
Check it.
How? Graph both of them by going to y equals, type this one in first, this one in second, and make sure they make the same parabola. Go ahead and try to check it yourself, and then we'll move on to number 5. F of x equals, this is a negative 1. And even though normally we don't write ones, I might would in this case, just so you don't forget to distribute it at the end. X plus 6 squared means x plus 6 times x plus 6. The reason I write it out twice is because in the very next step, I'm going to distribute it. Or some people call this FOIL. X times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. 6 times x is 6x. And 6 times 6 is 36. Now in the next step, I'm just going to continue bringing down the negative 1 and continue bringing down the minus 7 because I'm not ready for them yet. I still need to combine these like terms. That becomes 12x in the middle. 6x plus 6x is 12x. Now that I've done that, now I am ready to distribute the negative 1 and add the 7. But first you distribute the negative 1. Let's print this. Okay, so f of x equals negative 1 times x squared is negative 1x squared. Negative 1 times 12x is negative 12x. And negative 1 times 36 is negative 36. Bring down the minus 7. And so now, to write it as your final answer, you don't really have to keep writing the 1 at this point. You can, but you don't have to. Minus 12x, and then we can combine those, and those combine to a calculators in front of you. Negative 43. Okay, and then if you're not sure if it's right, you type both equations in and you check it. Your classwork is the next page is 6 problems. Whatever is not finished is homework.